There are some of the most important conversations in life that are never spoken out loud. Your dog does not know how to use human language. They cannot sit in front of you and confess how much they miss you when you leave the house. They cannot explain why the sound of your footsteps in the hallway can make their whole body soften, as if a storm has just passed. And they cannot tell you that, in their small but bottomless world, you are not just an owner. You are safety. You are the most beautiful habit they have. You are the place their heart returns to. So they speak in other ways. With a sigh. With a stare. With the quiet sound of paws following you from room to room, as if being too far from you for too long would make the whole world fall out of order. Most owners see these things every single day, and still miss what they mean. Not because they do not care, but because the deepest signals a dog gives are usually wrapped in very small moments. Very still. Very quiet. Very easy to mistake for something ordinary. But once you understand them, you will never look at your dog the same way again. Because you will realize they have been trying to tell you the most beautiful things, in the only language they have. These are 7 things your dog wants to say to you, but never can out loud. Number 1. When they let out a long sigh after lying down beside you. Do not dismiss that sound. Because it may be one of the most honest confessions your dog has ever made. That slow, soft breath they release after lowering themselves next to you can sound like nothing. Just a body settling. Just another habit. But for a dog, fully letting go is never a small thing. They are creatures built on instinct. They listen constantly. They smell everything. They notice tiny shifts in the world around them long before you do. Even at rest, some part of them is still quietly watching. So when your dog lies beside you and exhales as if they have just set an invisible weight down on the floor, that is not just tiredness. That is surrender to safety. That is an emotional signal saying, here, next to you, I do not have to be on guard anymore. I do not have to keep watch. I can be soft. I can rest for real. I trust this place. And I trust you. Number 2. When they look at you in silence, a little longer than usual. Some looks from dogs seem simple. Almost blank. Almost innocent. But some looks, if you stay with them long enough, begin to feel like one of the purest forms of love on earth. They are not asking for food. They are not begging for a walk. They are not trying to demand attention. They are just looking at you as if your existence alone is already an answer to something inside them. That is what so many people miss. They think love only appears when a dog wags hard or jumps into their arms. But sometimes the deepest bond arrives in complete stillness. When your dog looks at you a little longer than usual, they are not only watching you. They are regulating themselves through your presence. They are checking that you are still there. That the world is still okay. That the person who matters most to them has not disappeared. If that gaze could become words, it might say, when I see you, everything inside me gets quieter. Not excitement. Not chaos. Just peace. And sometimes, that is the truest kind of love there is. Number 3. When they bring you a toy, and then do not really want to play. This is one of those tiny moments almost everyone overlooks. But if your dog has ever carried their favorite toy over to you, dropped it at your feet, and then simply sat there watching, you have seen something that means much more than play. At first glance, it looks like an invitation. And sometimes it is. But many times, what they are really bringing you is not the toy itself. It is a piece of their inner world. That object holds excitement for them. Comfort. Ownership. Familiar joy. And placing it between the two of you is more emotional than it seems. It is their way of saying, this matters to me. And I want to share it with you. I want to pull you into my world for a moment. I want us to have something together. A lot of dogs do not truly need the game in that moment. What they need is your participation. Your attention. The feeling that the thing bringing them joy can somehow belong to both of you. Number 4. When they follow you from room to room. It seems ordinary. Almost funny. But if you think about it, this may be one of the clearest signs of emotional attachment they can give. People laugh and say their dog is clingy. But clingy is often a shallow word for something much deeper. To a dog, closeness is not just preference. It is reassurance. It is emotional order. It is the way they keep their world from drifting into uncertainty. When you stand up to get water, they stand up too. When you turn toward the kitchen, they turn with you. When you close a door, they wait outside it as if even a few feet of distance feels like too much. That is not always weakness. And it is not always dependency in the way people assume. Sometimes, it is simply the way a loyal heart keeps itself calm. They need to know you are still within reach. Still there. Still part of the world as they understand it. And if they could put that feeling into words, it might sound like this: I feel better just knowing you are here. Number 5. When they turn their back to you and fall asleep. If you do not understand canine body language, you might never realize how much trust is hidden in that one act. Because for humans, turning your back can sometimes feel distant. Cold, even. But for a dog, it can mean the exact opposite. A dog only fully relaxes when they believe there is nothing dangerous behind them. Turning their back means giving up visual control. It means allowing themselves to become more vulnerable. It means believing that the one standing behind them will not hurt them. Will not startle them awake. Will not betray the safety they are trying to sink into. So when your dog curls up with their back to you and drifts into deep sleep, they are giving you something sacred. They are saying, I am handing you the softest part of me. I trust you to keep it safe. Number 6. When they lick you most on the days you are hurting. This is the moment that makes many people realize their dog understands far more than they ever imagined. Because your dog does not understand the story behind your sadness. They do not know what went wrong at work. They do not know who disappointed you. They do not understand bills, pressure, loneliness, heartbreak, or the silent fractures you hide from the rest of the world. But there is something they do understand. They understand your body. They understand your scent when stress moves through it. They understand when your breathing changes. When your silence feels heavier than usual. When your hand rests on them without its normal life in it. And then they come closer. With a gentle nose against your skin. With a clumsy little lick. With a kind of presence that is wordless, but deeply steady. What they are doing is not just instinct. It is an attempt at comfort. A very primal way of saying, I know something in you hurts today. I cannot fix it. But I will stay. I will not let you be alone with it. Number 7. When they simply lie near you, and want nothing at all. This may be the most underrated sign of all. Because it is too quiet. There is no drama in it. No obvious action. No sound big enough to pull your attention back. Just a dog lying near your feet, or beside the couch, or on the floor where they can still hear you breathe, hear you move, hear your life continuing around them. And because it is so simple, most people never stop to measure its depth. A dog's love does not always appear in the loudest moments. Often, it appears in the decision to remain. In wanting nothing, except closeness. When a dog asks for nothing and still chooses to lie near you instead of anywhere else in the house, that means something enormous. It means your presence alone feels rewarding to them. That being near you, without play, without food, without constant touch, is still where they most want to be. If that could be translated into human language, it might sound like this: just being beside you is already enough for me. And maybe what makes all of these signs so heartbreaking in the most beautiful way, is that they have always been there. Every day. Quietly. Patiently. Repeating themselves like love letters no one ever opened. Your dog has always spoken to you through their breathing. Through their eyes. Through the footsteps that follow you down the hall. Through the toy they place at your feet like an invitation into their private world. Through the back they turn toward you in deep sleep. Through the soft lick on the day your heart feels heavier than usual. And through the simple fact that, again and again, they keep choosing to stay close, even when they want nothing in return. The saddest part is not that dogs cannot speak. It is that so often, they have been speaking in every way they can, and humans have simply been too rushed to understand. So the next time your dog sighs beside you, looks at you for a little too long, or quietly settles near you in silence, do not be too quick to call it a habit. It may be one of the most sincere expressions of love you will ever receive. A kind of love with no language. No vocabulary. No clear sound for everyone else to recognize. But deep enough to stay in your heart for a very long time, once you finally learn how to hear it.